Howdy, friends and floorheads. It is Saturday afternoon, and it's time to play some Call of Cthulhu. You'll notice where I am. I'm not in the top center because I'm not running this game. We have got our guest GM, Brian, here. We're on episode 3. Brian, where are we starting?
We're starting right where we left off last time. Our heroes in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, have been trying to retrieve some lost memories and track down a missing young man. And in the process, they've made their way to the headquarters of a fellow by the name of Sebastian Senegal, who is a Haitian revolutionary leader, sort of opposed to the current American occupation that's happening in Haiti right now. They have been asking him for assistance. He's been asking where his guns are because our industrialist has apparently been supplying guns to both sides of the U.S.-Haiti conflict. And when they mentioned that they were looking into the cult of the floating horror, he instructed his associate to shut the door. And that's where we pick up here. The gentleman at the door sort of looks at Senegal and shrugs and shuts the door behind him, leaving you alone with him. He says, "What is your connection with this cult?"
We don't have to like keep the doors closed or nothing here, right? Like, we're not a threat.
If you were a threat, you would not be in here alone with me.
It kind of turns to Mr. James, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this guy.
Yeah, well,
The call has my brother.
yes, that's what we're dealing with at the moment.
And you intend to, what, march in there and demand him back?
Something like that. We've this sounds so insane, but someone has told us that they have some sort of influence, some kind of this voodoo stuff is beyond me.
They are not a voodoo cult, although they claim to be.
Right. Well,
What
whatever
are
they are doing to him, it is imperative that we get him out of there before tomorrow morning, I think is when they said.
Yeah.
It's actually the following morning.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow night is when they think the ritual is going to be taking place. So Senegal kind of reaches into his desk drawer and pulls out a 3/4 full bottle of what looks like probably homemade sugarcane rum. And he, pops the top off and takes a swig out of the bottle. Then, after a moment, offers it to you.
Yeah, he absolutely downs it.
Okay, it's strong, but it's
Yeah.
and you can feel it burn as it goes down. But it's pretty tasty. Some 20 years ago, he says, my brother Miguel ran afoul of this cult. He found something that they wanted, and they tried to kidnap him, presumably to get it back. I was able to fight them off and hide away with him, but it started to change him. Whatever this thing is that he had found, it was not of this world. His skin started to get black and scaly. He began to look more like a lizard than a man. I was starting to think that my brother might be lost. He takes another swig of the bottle. One day I went into town to get some food and medicine in hopes that I could help him somehow. And when I returned, as I approached where he was hiding, I saw the cult had come for him again in great numbers, and they were treating him like some kind of god as they were leading him back into the hills. And I looked at him from a distance before they saw me, and I saw he goes over to one of the bookshelves and sort of pulls off this little handkerchief, and he brings back to the table a skull. It looks at first glance like a human skull. except that the jaw is kind of distended forward, and there's also a socket in the forehead. It looks like a natural gap in the bone, although there's some chips along one side of it. And he says, I saw the third eye open in his head, and I knew that my brother was lost.
It looks like someone shot him in the forehead.
I was not willing to let him become what they wanted him to be, so I crouched there in the brush, and I aimed my rifle, and he dropped dead. And I managed to get away from them. I buried his body, and I threw the stone that had changed him into the sea. So
Senegal, I presume you were consulting Madame Josephine on this topic as well.
I did not know her at the time.
Well,
I didn't know what it was. Now I understand that perhaps my choice of shots was lucky.
Go ahead, Shadika.
well, the stone has been found. It cut my brother, and now he's in the same position.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna shoot him in the head. We ain't shooting Mr. Jack.
You may not have a choice.
Oh, there's always a choice. We'll get there
You
before.
would like to find a way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Regardless, we could use your help. We're going into a place we don't know. We're going through area we don't know, and we have no idea what we're facing. And considering that this seems to affect all of us, not just our family in particular, but it seems to have great importance to your country and maybe more. We need help getting there. We need help dealing with this. And I will absolutely burn that countryside down rather than let this cult get away with what they've done to my son.
And if I may, Mr. James, now keep in mind, we get this figured out. We get Mr. Jack back. You're much closer to getting your guns. That's the only reason we ain't got your guns for you right now is because of this mix-up.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can get people to guide you to where their headquarters is, but I'm not going to let you march in there before I have my guns. You're going to get yourselves killed.
The problem is that Jack knows where your guns are. I sent him here specifically to help deal with you and this situation.
So I want to confirm something here before I ask for a roll. You have an invoice that shows the warehouse where the guns were sent, and I don't know if that's something that you're deliberately lying to him about, or is that just something you didn't remember from last time?
Something I think he didn't. I think it's something he's assuming at this point.
Okay.
So it's not that he's deliberately lying. He's just
And we don't know for sure that the guns are there, right? We only
That's
have
true.
the invoice. Okay.
right.
Well, go ahead, James, and make me a persuade roll, if you would.
Okay. Well, do we remember what section that was under? Because good
Uh,
lord, oh, there it is. I see it.
Mhm.
Says, well,
I have 14 luck. You know what? I'm going to spend all but one of my luck.
oof. Okay,
Yeah.
then.
Oh,
We need his help.
Well, if your son, brother, whoever he is, can't, surely you know where these items were sent. They wouldn't have come directly here.
We have an idea. And unfortunately, I think I might know what happened to them. And if that's the case, well, if our boys have gotten a hold of them, I don't know what we can do.
Yeah, but Mr. James, we can get them more guns, right? I mean, like, let's say that Captain Sergeant Private Guy took all the guns, right? But like, we got more. We make guns.
Yeah, I mean, in a later transaction, assuming we get off this island, of course.
Well,
and Brother Killer, listen, if we don't get this figured out here, like you get no guns.
that's why if you don't have the ones that were sent down here now, go ahead and put another order in before you march off into the jungle and get yourselves killed. I can send men to show you where to go. Maybe. I hope you kill them all. I doubt you will.
Why, if you know that this cult has been a problem, why has no one taken them down? Why have they been such a
Every
problem?
time someone has gone into the hills to try and find them, they haven't come back. They have things at their command that no one really understands.
I guess you're talking about the Guardian, or what's his name?
I've heard of such a thing, yes.
So you didn't come across of this Guardian when you've been there to?
No, I have no
Soften
desire to
the-
face them again. They've cost me a brother and many years of sleep.
Sean, can I have a word with you in
Yeah,
private?
of course, Mr. James.
I'm gonna look at Mr. Senegal and make sure it's okay. Kind of give him a look. To
Yeah,
make
he
sure it's
kind of
okay.
gestures.
And I'm gonna pull
he
Sean,
kind of seems very curious about the way this is all shaking out, but
and
there's
I'll
no
pull
action.
Sean out of the office, and I'll
Mhm.
shut the door.
yeah.
And
You see as you open the door, there's sort of a handful of the workers in the warehouse kind of scattering away from the door. Like they were definitely standing outside trying to hear what was
Yeah.
going on, and then they're like, "Oh no, we're fine."
and I will give them my best CO. I can fire you look.
You do see that a couple of them glance inside just like to make sure that Senegal's still there,
Yeah.
and then they kind of go on about their business.
If he, and I say it in a very, very hushed tone, so that's only he and I can hear.
Mhm.
If he doesn't have the firepower to send in here, then I think that the next thing we do is we send a note to the Americans and we tell them that Senegal is hanging out in the woods where these people live, and we send the full force of the military in there to take them down.
So I hear what you're saying, Mr. James, right? I hear what you're saying. I think we should take care of this ourselves first. So maybe we've made real good friends up at the front counter there at the hotel, right? So let's put a note there. We give it to the hotel guy, and we say, hey, look, if you don't see us tomorrow, like if we don't come back here, then you give this note to Sergeant Private, and then all of that does happen, right? But I think keeping this low key is probably really smart, because we don't necessarily want Sergeant Private and his boys knowing about the guns and if Mr. James has gotten mixed up, or Mr. Jack's got mixed up and stuff. I don't know if we want. We've got a lot going on, Mr. James.
I understand this, but we're basically going up against the private army, the four of us.
Yeah, we got Dirk. You got me. And don't forget, we got the stone, the magic stone. I just I shaved my arm with the magic stone, and then we go in.
That supposedly will kill you. You remember that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fairy tales.
I understand, but something is going on. And this man, and I point to the office, this man who is a terrifying individual on his own, who is scarier than you or me combined, is too scared to go in there. That says something.
Yeah. So, Mr. James, people when this little family stuff going on, right? And like you don't like your brother, and you come up with all kinds of stories, to justify doing something terrible. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but the choices here between, he just wanted to off his brother, and there's a cult with gods and fish people and 3 eyes. Like, which one are we going to believe?
I'm not saying that there's monsters out there, but there's clearly firepower out there. If people don't come back, those cultists are clearly dangerous. Maybe it's not monsters dangerous, but if Senegal is scared of them and too scared to send people with us just so he can get his guns, to make sure he gets his guns. Because if I die, he doesn't get shit, and he knows it.
And that's why we put the insurance policy with the message in there, Mr. James. I don't know. And look, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. You know that, right? I always do that. But I'm a little concerned. Yeah, I'm a little concerned that we're going to put ourselves in a position where we might find Mr. Jack and we lose the whole business. And, yeah, you being dead, that hurts the chances of us making money in the family business, right? But also you in jail also hurts the family business. And I think there's an option C, which is we go in with all of this spooky dooky stuff, and they and we just go in there like rational people, and we get Mr. Jack, we get the hell off this island, and then we forget about all of it, and we pay off who we need to pay off, just like we did in Spain, and everybody stays quiet.
You're right. Somehow you're always right, Sean. You're right. All right. Insurance policy.
Just as an aside, you saying that, you're like, Sean's like, ooh.
Yeah. Clearly,
like, I feel clearly, 2 feet taller.
I think you can clearly tell that, like, this guy is completely off balance, and you've never seen him this way. And this is all right. Well, let's finish our deal with Senegal and see what he can offer.
And I think Dirk wouldn't hear this, right? That wouldn't make sense to me.
It sounds like it's just those two.
Yeah, so instead of listening to this conversation, Dirk would continue with Mr. Senegal as you are discussing your options. So, right back. Okay, Mr. Senegal. So it seems that they have a big army, or these cultists. So what numbers are we talking? Do you know what, like, are there tens or hundreds of them?
Dozens, I would think, maybe 100 in all. I do not think they have many guns, but with enough men, a machete is plenty.
Okay. Would you, by any chance, have some of their robes, or I don't know what cultists have these days, like, if you could use some of their clothing as these guys, because we don't want to take them head on, probably. So
from what I saw, they did not have any robes or costumes, although I saw that a number of them had sort of painted a third eye on their foreheads.
Then we will paint a third eye on ours when we head out into the hills tomorrow to possibly die.
Yeah.
I hope you kill them all, but I do not expect to see you again.
And at this point, they step back in the door.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll get you your guns. We'll find out what happened to the ones we sent, and we will send you more. We'll head back to our hotel. I'll put the order in the minute we get to the hotel. And all we ask is that tomorrow you give us some sort of guide to get us out there. We don't want to get lost and miss it in the first place.
Very good. Come back and I will do what I can to help you on your way.
Look over at everybody else. Are we good? Is there anything else?
Yeah, just processing everything I heard today.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it exciting to learn new things?
About your family.
Yeah, and He has been very particular to not make eye contact with her all day.
She is just looking directly at the side of his face.
Have you ever seen a boxer dog? Like when you look at a boxer, they always look away from you. They can't make eye. That's exactly what he's doing. He's just sliding his eyes around. Like, nope.
All right, so you guys make your way out. Okay. You
Do we
head
need to
out.
obfuscate coming out of here again, Sean, just in case? Like we don't want to be seen just walking out of this warehouse if they're still watching.
Yeah, and I don't know if Brian wants us to roll again for that, but I would assume.
No, I don't think you need that. I mean, it's a little bit off the main street. It was clearly chosen because it's sort of out of the way, so it's not a problem for you guys to slip out. They clearly have folks sort of hanging out on the street watching for any sort of observers, so you're able to get out without any particular problem. It's twilight now. It's starting to get dark. Where would you like to go next?
So with all the talk of these guns, do you actually know where they are, Father?
I'll not. I mean, I know where they should be.
Should we check it out if it is close in distance and possibly take some with us?
That's not a terrible idea. Sean, what do you think?
I think that Miss Donna got some family brains too. I think that's a really good idea, and I think we should go check it out. And if you want, Doug and I can go. If you guys want to go back to the hotel and get some dinner or something, we can. We don't know what's there, right?
I mean, we have some guns in our hotel. Do we want to risk ourselves to be exposed more to these army people that are definitely following us? So this is one more critical point where things might go wrong, and we need to keep low. I mean, we need to figure out a way how we get in, and we need to figure out a way how to make a distraction so we can get your son out safe and alive, and then get the hell out of here. That's what I'm thinking.
So Sean is going to try to pull Dirk aside, and Sean I really think that I am being very discreet and everything, and it's like Sean thinks there's no way Donna could hear this. Donna's going to totally hear this. Dirk, look, there's guns, and then there's guns in the warehouse. We've got guns,
but with guns. We pull them out, we might not have time to use them at all. We need. I mean, do you have?
Look, it's a bunch of uniform stoolies and a bunch of GI jerks. We'll get in there. Where you're smarter than they are. With me, it's even a little bit smarter. We'll get in there. But I think Miss Donna's onto something. I think we should, but. It's really up to Mr. James.
Okay, I've said my word. So let's hear what Mr. James has to say to us.
Let's go scout it out. Right?
Okay.
The worst we can do is scout it out. But I do not think we should split up at this point.
Agreed.
We haven't had another blackout in hours. I would not want to be separated when we do.
I'm trying to help you out, Brian. I'm doing the best I can.
Well, thank you, Craig. Your concern is touching and appreciated. So the address you have for Labadee Imports Exports, which is where these farm machinery crates were apparently shipped, it's actually pretty close to here. It's out on the docks, just at the very top end of the map up here. And it's sort of clearly getting ready to shut down for the day. See a fair number of workers, heading out, lighting up cigars, heading out. You can see they're like finishing up loading a load of what looks like might be coffee onto a little cargo boat that's going out to a larger ship in the harbor. And so, it looks like they're still open, but not by much. So what would you like to do?
If you want to wait in the car, Mr. James, I can I can just go up there. Maybe Derek and I can go up there.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait back here. I don't think I'll look over Donna's way, like not actually making eye contact once again. I feel pretty comfortable in saying that I'm not good at sneaking around.
Yeah, Mr. James, can I just in case it comes up, can I get one of your business cards so I can show that I represent you?
Yeah, that's fine. And he'll reach into his wallet and pull out a card.
And who has the actual shipping manifest?
I think Donna did, right?
I do.
think
So I'm
so.
looking at them do all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just pull out the shipping manifest and pass it to Sean.
Okay.
That
Very
should act
smart.
like
Very
too
smart.
fast.
All right. So Sean and Dirk are going up. I see.
Yeah, I will be joining Sean definitely.
Okay.
And what I'm looking for, Brian, is I'm looking for anybody who might be like logistics or supervisor or somebody that that's not lifting boxes.
Right, exactly. And as you get close, you can see kind of standing, it's one of the big open cargo doors, and sort of leaning against the wall there is sort of a tall, skinny, 40-ish mulatto man who is smoking a cigar and yelling in, Haitian patois at some people inside. Definitely looks like he's at least more on the supervisory level. And
Dirk
the
is following
guys
Sean
seem to be
like
doing
one
what he
step, behind,
Mm-hmm.
and Dirk is actually looking more for someone who might notice us, that there are these European guys. Oh, sorry, there are these
Mm-hmm.
white guys there, and might run away suddenly to tell someone, or for these hints, like there would be someone noticing us and telling on us probably.
I mean, people definitely notice you as you're walking up. You don't look like you're from around here, but you don't see anyone that seems to be taking any special interest. They see a lot of foreigners coming through here because it's an import-export business, so none of them seem to particularly care.
So I'm going to walk up to our friend and, excuse me, sir. I'm here to verify delivery, and are you the right person to talk to?
Yes. What are you trying to verify delivery of?
So I pulled the manifest out and it says, invoice here says that this shipment of coffee was sent here, and I just want to confirm it. And I'm not going to touch it or nothing. I just for my boss, I need to confirm that the shipment arrived.
Coffee?
God, the accent was all over the place.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right, man. We're all getting back. It's been a couple weeks.
Good Lord.
He kind of gestures for the invoice. Or sorry, no, you haven't shown that out, have you?
No, I kind of held it so he could read it, but I'm trying to keep my hands on it.
So he takes a look at it, and he kind of snaps back and looks at you, and he says, "Of course, sir. This way, please," and kind of leads you inside. And sort of as soon as you're out of earshot of the workers that are over there, he immediately is like, "You said I need to hang on to these for 3 days. It's been 3 weeks. Where the hell have you been?"
Look, things get complicated. You're going to get taken care of. We just take us to where they are. And, well, you know what? I don't need to see them. Just the guns are here.
Yes,
The coffee?
and we need
The
to get
coffee.
them out of here because the Yanks have been sniffing around. And if they find them while we're here, we're both going to hang.
Okay, so you done good. You done good keeping the Yank goons out. So Mr. James will take care of yous. Can we look at just one box?
He kind of gestures for you to follow him and goes to an area that's, kind of in the back away from the door, sort of under some tarps. And you see a couple large stacks, about 60, you'd guess, of boxes that are maybe each probably like a foot square and maybe 4 feet long.
So I kind of rib Dirk like I told you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to, if we can do it with any kind of shred of privacy, I'd like to open up one of them.
Sure. I mean, he is kind of staying nearby, but I mean, it looks like there are none of the others. The workers are pretty much wrapping up for the day, so it doesn't look like there's any others paying any particular attention. He sort of waves a couple of them out as they go. And there's certainly, plenty of pry bars and that sort of thing here, so it's easy enough to lever the top off of one of these things.
All right, so we pry one off. What do we see?
Inside, there are a set of, long and narrow things in like oilcloth wrappers. And you pull one off, and it is a brand new 30-06 bolt action rifle. It looks like there's about 10 of them in each crate.
So I'm going to wrap,
as well as some ammunition.
Perfect. Wrap 2 of them up, back up, hand 1 to Dirk. I'll take 1, put some bullets, in my pockets, a box of bullets in each one of our pockets, and close it up. Just seal this back up again. And look, day after tomorrow, these things are out of your way, and we're going to pay you. We'll pay you double for holding it as long as you did.
Yeah, you owe me at least $300 more to get these.
Hey,
if you don't get them out of here soon, I'm either going to sell them myself or dump them in the ocean.
Okay, calm down.
I can't be calm. This will get me killed.
I've got $400 that says you can calm down. Okay, so we'll take care of it.
He like holds his hand out.
Why do I have $400 on me? What do I look like?
You literally just said you had $400.
Here's the deal. How about this? I don't get you the $400 by day after tomorrow. The guns are yours. They're worth a lot more than $400. You could sell this and live off of it for years. Okay. You got the upper hand here. You got the stuff.
Yes, and it's going to get me killed if anyone finds it here.
No one's going to get killed. Everybody on this island thinks everybody's dying. No, it's fine.
Easy for you to say. Give me a persuade roll.
All right. Okay. Persuade. I like my persuade. I did not like my roll.
No.
Oh, gosh.
So you walk in here with a piece of paper and you're taking these guns and leaving me high and dry? I don't think so.
All right, so here's what I need to happen. You tell me how this happens. My buddy Dirk and I, we're taking these 2 with us, and we're leaving. Day after tomorrow, you get your $400, and the guns are gone. Everybody's alive. That's what needs to happen. You tell me how that happens.
That happens is you get me the money now, and then you can walk out with your guns. And then the day after tomorrow, we'll worry about the rest of it.
Oh, for crying out Christmas. All right. Here. I take the gun back from Dirk. You hold on to these. And obviously, I don't have it on me, so I'll be back in a little bit. I assume I can give you a check? Because I don't know no banks that are going to let me take $400 out right now.
You work for Sterling Industries. You've got the money.
All right, we'll be back. Turn back to Dirk. God damn it. I had him.
I don't know what went wrong. I was being so friendly.
Did you look at him funny or something? What happened? They went like sideways.
I mean, this scared shitless for his life. What did you expect? Like, we either give him the money now, or I don't know.
Maybe I should have painted a third eye on my forehead. That seems to scare everybody.
Yeah, well, that would be brilliant, Sean. That would be brilliant. That's what we need, right?
So while they're doing this, I kind of had James is sitting with Donna. I'm assuming they're probably not sitting in the car because it's probably sweltering.
Yeah.
And he's still not making eye contact with her, and he kind of says, I should
Explain to me what's
apologize.
happening. Yeah. I didn't realize you were a traitor to our country.
I will not apologize for my actions.
Okay.
I do what I need to do, but I will apologize for misleading you.
Yeah, so it would have been good to come in here understanding what's happening and not being surprised about my father's actions. And my brother's actions, which got us here, honestly.
I genuinely thought that this would be easily taken care of, that this would be an in and out sort of thing, and that we would make our money and be done.
If we survive this, which honestly, it's a low chance. Um, if we survive this, you're still going to be selling arms to Haitian revolutionaries.
Yes, yes, I will be. There's no way to back out of that at this point.
And you are aware that you're being investigated. Yes.
Yes, I am unfortunately aware of that.
Okay.
There are contingencies. There are contingencies, but we have to get through this first.
Okay. That's fine. We after this, we will have a true conversation, Father. Um, with Jack as well. And yes, I'm just overwhelmed by today's events.
And just know that I never intended to put either of you in harm's way.
I understand your intention of not wanting to, but you directly put Jack into harm's way by getting him involved with this business.
Well, it
It,
was his idea. He went into this fully aware. He went into this fully aware. Well, not aware of cults and monsters and insanity, but as to what he was doing specifically, he was aware.
all right. We will get through this.
All right.
So when Dirk and Sean come back, considering it's summer in Haiti, it's surprisingly chilly out here between these two. But you make your way back and regroup.
Hey,
Where are the
I guess
guns?
outside it was much nicer.
all right. So, Mr. James, on a rating scale of nothing to $400, how important do you think it is that Dirk and I have 2 rifles?
How much do you need?
That's the $400 part of the scale.
No. Why are we paying for rifles that's already paid for?
We're paying for storage.
Yeah, and it's an extra. He's a super nervous guy. He thinks everybody like everybody else on this island, everybody's gonna die, right? Okay, but look, like I know we said we were gonna give him 200 for holding the guns. He's holding them 3 weeks extra. He's super nervous. The Yanks, as he calls them, the goons are here, and I took the liberty of offering him 400, and that I said the guns would be gone in 2 days. And there's some nice bags of coffee in there that I think could be real helpful tomorrow. And he said if I bring him the money now, that that Dirk and I would be able to take 2 of the guns and some of the bullets, and we would have them for tomorrow. But if you don't think it's real important, like we got so. Like I was telling Dirk, we got guns. We don't have guns. We got guns, so like we'll be okay. But
Sean, I have 300. Will that left? That's what I've got. Will that work?
I don't think so. Okay. All right. Hey, look.
And he starts walking straight over
I'm
to. He
going
walks
as
in the
well.
door. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of straightens his clothes out. He's got everything. He says, "You did good, Sean. You did good," and pats you on the shoulder as he walks by, and strolls directly into this.
There's a reason the bodyguard isn't in charge of negotiations.
I'm gonna follow my father.
Okay.
Mr. James has got this, Dirk. We're good. We're good.
All right. So you two are holding back now while they go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody swaps places. You go in, and this supervisor, whoever it is, kind of looks at you on your way in. He says, "Well,
do you know who I am, sir?"
I know you're associated with Sterling Arms."
No.
I am Sterling Arms. And I hear that you have done an admirable job holding on to some merchandise that we had shipped here. And for that, I am extremely grateful to you. And you will be compensated in return. And at the moment, I have this, and I pull out basically what's left in the wallet and set it on the table, and said, "Consider this a down payment on what we owe you for the admirable service that you've done holding these guns for us, these items for us, and that we will make sure that you are compensated. Sterling Industries always pays their debts."
And these will be out of here by the day after tomorrow?
Or sooner.
He kind of picks up the stack of cash you put there, sort of riffles through it to count it surprisingly fast, like he'd done a lot.
Yeah.
He kind of nods and tucks it away and says, "All right, take what you want. And just make sure nobody sees you coming in or out with these."
Yeah, we'll exit through the back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
He'll kind of look over at Donna, look back to where Sean and Dirk are, shake his head, and then just walk in. Look at you and go, "Do we know
they're
what
by
what
themselves?"
Yeah. What are we getting? What?
I don't know. Let's just open one, like.
Yeah, I mean, there's one that's kind of
open,
just been opened, and you see,
Yeah.
there's about 10 rifles and a bunch of ammunition in this box. So looks like so about 600 guns here, so enough to start a small war.
It is, isn't it?
Mhm.
So many lives.
Yeah, indeed.
So yeah, we'll take I guess there's 4 of us, so we'll take 4 of them then.
Okay, sounds good.
Um,
And as you sort of flip it open to get them, there's like something movement catches at the corner of your eye, and there's like a little colored piece of paper sort of spinning through the air and settling to the ground near Donna.
Is it card size?
I'll grab it.
Okay, cool. Looks kind of
Wait.
like a playing card, sort of an oversized
Oh
card.
my gosh. Okay. This is fine.
Is that showing correctly? It's still
It is.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Gosh darn it. Trying to get us to show the stream here, and let's see. There we go. There we go. See, it's fine. Stream.
Yeah, everything's good. Professional.
When she catches the car, she's just gonna be like, "I don't think this day could get any worse than what it already has been."
That's
Fascinating. Some GMs would take that as a challenge.
let's just get back to the hotel,
She's
get
gonna
dinner, figure out what the
pocket
hell we're doing.
this with the rest of them, and
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, you gather up your items. I assume you'll probably keep them in those bags, so it's not obvious that you're toting a bunch of rifles around.
yeah.
Just hugging the rifles.
Oh god, these things are so heavy. Where's
And
Sean?
I rush like the fact that the 2 of them are lifting anything is like, oh no. I run up and I grab the guns and get them in the
Alright.
trunk.
All right, cool. You do that. And so heading back to the hotel then?
I think so.
Okay.
Father, I think we should leave a note with whoever's going to guide. Well, maybe not, but we should send a note to the rebel leader about where his guns actually are.
Yeah, that's for sure. We'll take care of that.
Because I'm honestly surprised he didn't shoot us right then and there when we gave him ultimatums about the guns.
Some people you can leverage, some people you can't.
So,
Donna's thinking to herself, like, "Yep, gotta start my own family."
got to get away from my crazy dad. All right. So you guys heading back to the hotel. The trip is without incident. So you're able to get back and head back in and up to your rooms or into the lobby as you see fit.
Oh, I do want to ask the front desk person, where can I buy paints, either face paint or like anything of that nature?
Stickers
There
with shape.
are. I mean, yeah, there's certainly like some pharmacy type shops around here. He says you may may have a hard time finding it now. A lot of people are getting ready to make themselves up for the festival, but there's probably still some available. And there's a couple shops within a few blocks here.
Okay, I'm gonna call Sean or actually, I'm gonna call Dirk and say, "Hey, you mind escorting me down to get some face paint?"
I mean, I look back to Sean. I guess he's around. Yeah, I can escort you, miss. No problem.
Okay.
No funny business, Dirk.
All right.
Okay, let's get this over with.
Okay, so the shopping trip itself is fairly ordinary and unexciting. Is there any particular conversations that go on during this trip that we should know about?
I would ask Dirk if just straight off the bat, we're essentially like, "Are you here to investigate my father? You know, your partner."
Tana doesn't mess around. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I was sent here to help your father. He's a good relation with the company, so he. The intention was that I was hired to find your brother, and all these things that happened around here, they how unfortunate they are, were not part of my contract.
Is it possible for that to never be a part of your contract after this is all finished?
What are you saying, Donna? Like, what do you expect me to say? What can I do here?
It's like, I know it's a really terrible situation my father put literally everyone involved in here in.
To
But
be honest,
our father, and I'd rather him not to go to prison for the rest of his life for committing war crimes.
I mean, okay, I have one job to do here. We need to get your brother out of here. I hope that will help me to get on your father's better side. And to be honest, I hope that he will not hold any grudges or something that I might have overheard by any chance. And then I will go my way, solve other cases, and get a drink of a lot of booze and be happy. And I will not go to Haiti and talk about Haiti anytime soon, to be honest.
Awesome. That's all she wanted to know.
Dirk, if nothing else, seems to have a good sense of self-preservation. Yeah, so you guys are able to go out and get the selection is a little bit low, but you certainly have some stuff that get some eyebrow pencils and some different colors of foundation and face paint type stuff that you can make work.
I want to specifically, and this probably doesn't impact anything, to find the colors of their deity, at least that was on a card, to find those specific colors if possible.
It would be like purples, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually out of purple.
Okay.
I mean, you can certainly get some blue and some red and sort of fake it.
Yeah, then she's gonna fake it till they make it. We're gonna make purple.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Yeah, you can manage that without a problem.
Okay, awesome.
And while they are out, James is at the table, at the desk in his hotel room, and he is writing something. And then he slips it into an envelope, seals it, and he hands it to Sean. And he says, "Take this downstairs to the clerk and tell him, along with our other plan, that this is only to be opened if we are only this only gets opened if we do not come back." And you see that it's addressed basically back to Connecticut.
And you can see Sean has taken it, and I was about to and then I flip it over and see that it's to Connecticut, not to the Army base. And I'm like, yeah, of course, Mr. James, of course. And he may want a little. You got a dollar, a quarter, or something on you, and I can.
he says, I gave pretty much everything to play.
Okay. You know what?
Oh.
I got a little walking around cash. I'll take care. I'll take care.
And he says, Sean, do not open that.
No, boss. No.
Okay. And then he kind of goes back to the sort of sits on the terrace and just kind of doesn't talk for the rest of the time.
Okay.
So Sean heads down, and once he turns the corner in the hallway before hitting the stairs, there is that moment where Sean stops and looks at it, kind of holds it up to the light. And he's just, like you can just see the battle, and it's like he would have without hesitation would have just taken it down and done exactly what Mr. James said. But the fact that Mr.
He
James
said, "Don't open it."
don't open.
Yeah.
Really giving Sean a tough time, but he's a good boy and he takes it down.
Oh, what a good lad. All right. The night clerk, looks mildly perplexed, but accepts it and files it away. He puts a little note near it that says, send on. So what? 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. And look, here's money for the stamp, and you keep the change, okay?
Thank you very much, sir. He tucks it all carefully away.
So on our way back, I presume I would like to still have a chat with with Donna. So, Miss Donna, how well do you know Mr. Sean? So, how long do you know him? Like,
there's honestly less. All my memories are essentially with Sean around. He's been around my entire life.
I don't know that guy that well, but he has an important task on him, and I don't know. Do you think he will follow through? Will he, with all that voodoo stuff and the stone and the guardian and whatnot? One small thing goes wrong.
He will follow through if it means keeping me, my father, my brother safe. Hands down. That is what I am necessarily worried about, because I don't want any of us to cut ourselves with the stone, because that means we're instantly dead. Maybe. This could all be fake, but I'm going at this as if it's real, just in case. But I know Sean is Sean, but he's extremely reliable and he's never failed me, not even once. When it matters.
Damn right.
I'm gonna trust you on that then.
Yes.
Okay, nothing more fancy on the way back.
Okay. So you guys regroup in the hotel. Anything else you want to do before trying to get some rest?
Yeah, I will try to get everybody on one place. And Mr. Sterling and Sean, Donna, I think we should talk out our tomorrow's plan, because we might not have time to do that during tomorrow. I think it will go quickly. We might get into messy situations, and we should really know what we are doing ahead of time. And in case, God forbid, we split, that we know where to meet, for example, and what is our target.
Okay.
One thing, what I was thinking about as we were on our journey here, is like to go. I don't believe the tarot cards, but it's what a load of coincidence that they were appearing around. Maybe if we walk through them and try to make sense of the incidents that happened here, what is about to happen, if we can get something out of it. Maybe someone is planting it here and tries to give us a hint what's expecting us for us to happen. If we follow through our plan, maybe there are threats. There's some, cultist guy that is planting these. It's strange that they are appearing, in our hotel and everything, with us losing our memory. Maybe they are trying to warn us of something. So what cards do we have when we look at them?
I'm gonna take out the cards and put them out by when we found them.
Okay. So the 4 that you have found in the order you found them are Death, the Devil, the Hanged Man, and most recently the 10 of Wands.
Oh yes, by the way, this one also fell out of the sky in the warehouse.
Fell out of the sky. Are these the same cards we got with the Dark Lady?
Different
Were they
images, but
different?
yes, the same cards.
The same values, the same
Mhm.
position, rotation, and such.
Mhm.
We saw these exact same cards in the reading.
Yes, they were
Mhm.
from a different deck, but it's the same cards in the same.
I
order.
didn't piece that together. Holy shit, that's cool.
Different pictures, yeah. And all of them are upside down, so that reverses the meaning, right? What that was there.
To some extent, yeah.
From what I got from the initial reading that was done on me is, or at least the most important part, is use logic to survive and not go off of emotion. Which I am still trying to figure out what that necessarily means in this case.
I think bringing 4 rifles would be considered as emotion, to be honest. I mean, you know, like if we're going against dozens of guys and we're waltzing them with 4 rifles, with Sean being cut by some crazy stone to fulfill that prophecy story or whatnot. I mean, Miss Donna, how many times did you shoot a rifle?
A total of 0 on the rifle.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yes, total.
So I'm not an army guy. I'm just an investigator. Sean, you seem to have more experience with this. What's your expectation of what we do when we go there?
Look, I'm not believing nothing of this. So we're gonna cut me with the rock, like Spooky Dookie Lady said. We're gonna walk past the guardian of the gates and stuff, and if the rock doesn't make us invisible, then we get rid of him. I'll keep a rifle on my back. I'll keep my sidearm. We go in there. We find Mr. James. Anybody gets between us and Mr. James is not going to be happy. And last I checked, spooky dookie robes by cultists don't stop bullets.
Ooh. What we could also do is, if you still intend to cut yourself with the stone, we can get past the guardian and we can just pretend to be a part of the cult.
Yeah, you're gonna paint the eyes on the faces.
Yes.
All right, I like that plan better.
I mean, aren't they going to be a little suspicious about, and he kind of gestures to all of
Us.
like,
All of the extremely white people
White
here.
yeah, like that doesn't. I don't know that sort of subterfuge would
That's
work.
fair. That is.
I do.
Isn't it the day where everybody paints themselves up in some crazy costumes?
That's what you
Somebody wears
hear.
a
It is a big festival today and tomorrow.
We
Could
Or
can
tomorrow and the day
also,
after.
Could we
also
have like a
got
mask
white
and
face.
put the eye on top of it?
We
Or
can
just like
definitely hide our skin color with this. For at least we won't be noticeable right away.
well, right, Sean. Donna is smart. This is some great ideas I'm hearing.
And I don't think these are people that can be bought off.
No, but they can be convinced, Mr. James. So I think everybody takes a nap. We get up bright and dark, and when the lights are out, Miss Donna, she paints us up. We go get we cut me with the stupid rock, and don't take this the wrong way, guys. Everybody's taking this way too seriously. This is a backwater little island. I'm from New York City. Leduc has been around the block too. I really think this is gonna be easy peasy.
I would agree with you if I haven't lost 3 weeks of my life. So I would prefer. Well, what I have been doing is kind of treating this as if it could be real,
Or we could have had shellfish.
or we could have for 3 weeks. Oh my gosh.
We need a soundbite for this when we like package up. This is like a little, for everybody to watch. and a trailer, and the trailer is just going to have Sean say, "Yeah, this is easy peasy," and then the end scene of all of us dead. Like, yep.
Could see it.
Sean thinks this is all a bunch of malarkey. He really
course
does.
it is.
The only thing he's afraid of is honestly the people at the army base. That's the only thing he's really concerned about.
Prison time.
Yeah, he kind of respected the guy that Senegal there. He respects him more than he's afraid of him. But I mean, he's not trying to like paint a rosy picture. I honestly think that Sean's like he thinks this is a bunch of backwater hicks they're running around. He's an idiot. Sean's an idiot.
Okay, before we call it a day, what was the last card? Was the 10 of Wands reversed?
It was a 10 of
That was
wands.
the
What
last
that
one you
mean,
found, yes.
Um, Shanika forgot what it means, but Donna does.
Yeah, so
it's a big burden that's heavy to carry in my
in the normal normal meaning of the tarot, it's a burden or maybe a trauma. It's like you're trying to carry too much alone is kind of often what it means.
Yes.
So obviously there is a burden. We need to find Jack, and we need to find him fast, and we need to get him out alive. To carry it along, it could refer to four of us, as four of us are not enough. And I don't like to involve others in this, but we should have some backup plan, so we could send in more manpower if things go haywire. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
There is an entire American army that's here as well. That's an option. It's always been an option.
I guess we see Sean's face.
Yeah, guys, look, the army is already this is. You're such a worrywart, Dirk. You're such a worrywart.
Sean, promise me one thing. You will not go there and start shooting the first cultist in the face.
No, I'll get like the second and the third one too. You only need to get one. I got the rest. But no, Dirk, I'm not just gonna go in there like romping domping cowboys going dun, okay? Like we go and we got our faces painted. We get past the Guardian because he saw I cut myself with the rock. We go in there, there's Mr. Jack. Anybody want to stop us? I didn't think so. We go in, we get Mr. Jack, we leave, we make sure he doesn't have a fish face, and then we go home.
Yeah, that's the smartest plan I've heard so far. That's great.
I see nothing could possibly go wrong here.
I feel the same way.
Donna's like to herself, I might die tomorrow. I need to write a letter to my mother and have it sent out. Oh my God, what am I doing here? I am here for Jack. Whew, okay. Simple plan. It's kind of all we got.
So we're going to meet Senegal's boys tonight. He's going to take us up into the woods. I would like it if Miss Donna cut me with the rock, and then let's everybody take a nap. We got a long night ahead of us.
And we need to stop by Madame Josephine, I believe, because she has some concoction that could delay the effects of the stone.
Right. And she actually has the stone still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question. I'm just making sure my notes are correct. This stone for sure is going to kill whoever gets cut by it.
She did not say that. But the impression you've gotten from the stories of people who have been cut by this thing before, it doesn't sound like the prognosis is good.
And Jack has already been cut by it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mama
I
Josephine
believe,
seems
if my
to think
thinking
he is
right,
doomed.
He is doomed. Okay.
Miguel was cut by it potentially.
Yeah, he didn't say that it was a stone particularly, but it was something of the cults that he had found.
Yeah, but too many coincidences, right?
And if need be, I can do a quick run to Miss Josephine's, pick up the potion and pick up the stone.
He was not like giving us the stone, I believe.
No,
No, she doesn't. From the impression you got was that she didn't want you to have it because she didn't want the cult to get it back.
Oh, okay. So I got to go there and get cut.
Yeah, we're all.
All right. So yeah. So yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't
No
realize that. So
It's been a couple weeks.
yeah. So look, I'll run. She can give me her little tea drink there. I'll drink the tea. She cuts me. And then we head out from there. We meet Senegal's boys. He takes us up to, come on, let's take a nap.
Okay.
I agree. Let's take a nap.
Okay.
See tomorrow.
I'll
Alright,
gather
so-
up the cards.
When are you planning to get up to start doing this exciting day?
And you guys yell if you don't like this, but I was thinking maybe like, because we had no sense of timing, right? Everything is the shit's supposed to hit the fan tomorrow night, right? Not
Yeah,
tonight.
tomorrow
at
at
sunset.
midnight is when, or
Okay.
at sunset is when she thinks the ritual.
So my suggestion to everybody, or Sean's suggestions to everybody, would be let's time it so we get there just after midnight. If
I
everybody's
think
good
after
with
sunset.
that.
Tonight.
After sunset.
Tonight.
Midnight, we're too late.
No, so everything's supposed to go to hell tomorrow night, and I'm saying we go tonight.
Oh. So,
Oh,
That's not a terrible idea if we know
That's
where they're
not
going to be.
You guys
Yeah,
make fun of Sean.
see, reliable.
yeah. Let's do this. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're just basically going to get a couple hours sleep is what I
Yep.
hear.
Yeah.
All right. So are you going
And
out now,
Tucker
Sean?
definitely. I believe he will assemble his shotgun and use that one instead. I guess I will not be able to carry both the rifle and the shotgun, but.
I mean, you
will
can.
prefer.
I mean, it's going to be kind of obvious, but you can certainly, it's not that heavy.
Yeah, I think that the shotgun could be maybe more subtle than rifle. I don't know. I take just the shotgun and my pistols, the automatic and revolver.
Okay.
Logistically, Brian, I don't know if we would have covered this with Miss Josephine or not, but like, if we get there at 11:50, is she or 11 quarter midnight? Like, I think we
You
would have made
didn't-
some arrangements.
You didn't really talk about it with her.
Okay.
We're just like, okay, we'll be back.
Got it.
But that said, she seemed to think that this was pretty important. So, I mean, if you wake her up, it'll probably annoy her, but she'll probably
Got it.
still.
All right, so let's do that. Let's just do let's cut me on the way out.
Okay.
All right, then we don't even need the makeup.
That's true. If we're going at night.
Okay.
Actually, I'm
James
still gonna-
will wait till everyone is asleep. He will specifically wait till he hears Sean snoring because he knows what Sean's sleeping snore is and what Sean's not snoring is. And then he is going to attempt to sneak out of the room.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a stealth roll if you would be so kind.
I got one luck left. Let's see if I
If that's relevant.
stealth.
Sometimes one
Go
is all you
Power
need.
Rangers. Yes.
There we go.
He sort of, Sean kind of rolls over at one point, but he keeps snoring the whole time.
And I apologize, but I do not remember the name of the captain that we talked to at the army base.
The lieutenant commander, the guy
Lieutenant
who's in
commander,
charge there.
Lloyd
Uh,
Medwin.
Yes,
Oh.
Lieutenant Commander Medwin.
Medwin. All right. He is going to go downstairs and he is going to go to the phone.
Okay.
And he is going to call the base.
Okay.
And he's going to ask to speak to Lieutenant Medwin.
I believe he's left for the day, sir. Can I take a message?
This is incredibly important. Where can I reach him?
All right. Hold the line, please. And he puts you on hold.
And he's doing the Sonic thing. He's tapping his foot. You know, this is like not used to being put on hold is Mr. Sterling.
Right. So a couple minutes go by, and then you hear just a phone pick up, and it's a slightly sleepy voice says, "This is Medwin."
This is Mr. Sterling, James Sterling. We spoke earlier this week. You're aware. I have information for you, vital information that I think
listening.
will. It's urgent to be acted upon.
All right.
It seems that it could be possible that Mr. Senegal has taken control of my son, kidnapped my son, and I know exactly where they're going to be and at what time they're going to be. There's some sort of, I don't know, voodoo ritual or something tonight.
It's
And
a
I
big
know exactly
festival
where
next
they're
couple
going to be.
days. Okay, where?
And I kind of give him that, general idea. We know where in the hills they're going to be. The information that we gathered says they'll be there somewhere between 1 and 2 a.m.
Tonight.
And it sounds like it's going to be a big group. So to get my son back, I need your help.
So you're asking us to what? Stage an assault on these people?
I am asking you to rescue an American citizen.
I hear that. I just want to make sure I know what your expectations are. This is short notice to put together an operation like that.
I
And
understand,
you think your
but
son's going to be there?
I know he will be there, and I fear his life is in danger. So yes, I am asking you to rescue an American citizen.
All right, that's a lot of country to cover, but I'll start getting men together. If you get any more details on specifically where they're going to be in those hills, get it to me as soon as you can.
Very well.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate
making the
you.
right choice, he says.
I appreciate you accepting what I say at face value.
Well,
And,
we'll probably have some conversations about this later, but
very well. And he hangs up
James
the
is
phone.
cold-blooded,
Okay.
sending
Yeah, he
Senegal
is.
up the river.
Well, I
I
have
ain't
an
paying
idea.
you $300.
Yeah, I have an idea too.
So
Excellent.
And then
Donna's
he heads back to bed.
Donna's probably not going to go to sleep, especially after the dream she had. So she's like up really quiet, put something over the door because her light's on. She doesn't want anyone to know she's up. And she's just looking at these tarot cards and just thinking about it. Because she doesn't believe if she sleeps, it's not going to be restful. It's not going to help her out. So she's just going to kind of ponder what's happening, what's been going on today, and just trying to get a sense of the cards as a whole.
Yeah, I mean,
But
just
that
kind of running through it and trying to make it make sense. And, there's you're familiar to some extent with tarot cards. You've seen, and with the traditional cards, it's always easy to sort of look at the imagery on the cards and associate them with a meaning and sort of draw connections that way. These cards are so alien, for lack of a better term. It's just hard to put anything together with it. So you keep trying to sort of rack your brains to think what they would mean in a regular deck, and what the fortune teller was saying, and it's just your mind's going in circles. It's so hard to put anything together.
Yeah, because even with the fortune that was told, she feels like the fortune is the same as these cards. It might mean something twisted. Like there might be just a hidden meaning with all of it. She just can't figure it out.
Tell you what, why don't you make me an occult roll?
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
It like doesn't want to select.
Let's see.
Let me close this note. Oh, wait.
There we go.
Do you have 46 luck by any chance?
I do have 46 luck.
Do you want to use it now is the question.
Well, she rolled twice on accident. So the first
Yeah.
one,
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what you did.
Okay.
Okay, so no, so
I
you're
missed it.
fine. You're
Ooh.
fine, actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're, kind of looking through these cards and piecing them together and remembering what everybody said and remembering what you found from the cards and looking at the images and trying to put something together. And at some point, you just sort of, this sense of calm comes over you. And there is something, you are sure, both with and without the cards, that what's going to happen in the next few hours is going to be bad. I mean, there's no doubt of that. But something tells you that the worst for you is past.
Okay.
That you can make it through this. And you can make a difference.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, as weird and bizarre and unsettling as these cards are, there is some sort of solace in them.
Okay. Okay, yeah, and that's just her into everyone that was just up.
Shanika did not expect that.
Truly did not.
Okay. Sean, you just sleeping soundly? No
Yep.
sneaky things I need to worry about? Okay.
Nope.
You
I'm
probably
the only straight shooter in this whole group.
Exactly. You probably dream a little bit, but you don't remember it.
Okay.
And Dirk, you have anything planned for the evening other than getting some rest?
Just a regular preparation for a tough day, but nothing
Okay.
intricate.
And you do remember a little bit of your dreams. It's you can never remember the images. It's just sort of like the vague outline of what goes on, and you kind of remember that you were going to do something really important, and you had and you and a team. This is maybe like something back when you were in the Merchant Marine or something along those lines, where you were you had something important you needed to do as a team, and suddenly you found that your team had abandoned you and left you alone. And then just as everything is about to fall apart, they come back and they help you finish it.
We have different dream. Can I pick one?
That's all I got for you, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And
He's
then,
like-
in a couple hours, far too short a time, really, your wake up call comes. Someone knocks on each door in turn and says, it's 9 o'clock, probably, if you wanted to get enough time to get out in the hills. And you begin getting ready to face your trip. And this is probably a good time to take that last 5-minute break to get everybody a chance to take a quick potty break and mentally prepare themselves for the moments ahead.
Sounds good. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Alrighty.
And then everybody got home safe. Mr. Jack was fine, and this was a lot of fun, guys.
And then
It
you
was
woke
all a
up,
dream.
right? And then you woke up.
That's right.
Yes. You wake up after far too little sleep, really. But the knock on the door tells you that it's time, that if you want to try and get there around midnight tonight, you need to get yourselves up and get moving.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep. So you gather up your various weaponry and equipment and tarot cards and what have you. And I understand you're going to stop by Mama Josephine's first and then go from there.
Correct.
Okay. So you make your way over. It's not that far from here. You can see that as you approach, her home is not that far from the Grand Cemetery. And you can see that there are already lights on in the cemetery. It seems like people are already starting to gather there. You see there are people bringing in these big sort of black wooden crosses covered with marigolds. There's candles lit up all over the place. People are wearing a lot of purple. You see a number of folks are made up. Their face paint is just like corpse white on them. This is obviously just the very first moments of getting ready for the festival, but it's clearly going to be kind of a big deal.
I do bring my paint, and we'll just quickly do it at Mama Josephine's house.
Okay, sounds good. So as you get to her place, which is the laundromat, as you remember, it's mostly closed down, but you can still see there's a light on in the back. And when you knock, and after a few minutes she comes forward, looking much as you remember her, although she looks like she's ready to come to the front door and read someone the riot act. And then she sees it's you, and so she just comes up and opens the door for you. Says, I wasn't sure you were coming back.
Then here we are.
Are you ready to go through with this then?
Well, yeah, let's do it. You said you got a little tea for me to drink, and then you're gonna cut the rock, or cut me with the rock.
Yes. So yeah, she goes back to her room, and you can see there's like the curtains are pulled aside where she got just like a little cot, and she draws the curtain in front of that. She puts down on the table this glass flask, probably like pint glass sized, of this bright yellow oily looking liquid, and you can see something inside, and as you kind of turn the glass to get a look at it, there's like a dead scorpion in it. And she just says, drink that, and she goes off to get the box from the shelves.
Are you sure about this? Are you like 100% sure about doing this? Oh my god!
Don't let this scare you, Miss Donna. But I wish this was the scariest shit I've ever drank. It's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Sean is not excited about drinking this.
No, I can't blame him.
Face. So I'm gonna drink it.
Okay. The flavor, there's surprisingly little flavor to it, so that's not bad. The texture is the uncomfortable part, which is never something you like with a beverage. Vaslov's face is the correct response to that.
Why?
And it's just very greasy going down your throat, but you and there's sort of like one of those moments where you're like, but you continue through and you get it down.
See, Miss Donna, easy peasy.
Oh.
You still left a little bit right here.
You're a funny guy, Dirk.
So she comes back with the wooden box she had before, and takes the lid off, and has this set of like wooden tongs, for lack of a better term, that she kind of picks the stone up with and just holds it out to you.
Do you need me to pull my arm or sleeve up? What do you need me to do?
Wherever you wish. It should not matter.
Hey, you're the voodoo expert here. You tell me what cuts me where and that makes me invisible, and I go past the guardian. And
this will not make you invisible, but I think the guardian will see you as one of its own.
Okay.
Your arm might be best, so that.
All right, let's do the arm then.
All
So
right.
I pull my sleeve back.
All right, and she just sort of barely brushes it along your arm. This thing is extraordinarily sharp. It's just like, woof. There's a line probably about 4 inches long along your arm, and the blood wells up. And it stings for a moment. And then after that, there is just this... It's hard to put into words. There's just this surge of energy going into Sean's brain. And it's like, I don't know if Sean is ever a man who has done drugs, but it's the sort of thing where he just feels like everything is clearer and sharper and more brightly colored around him. It's like the whole world around him has an Instagram filter on it, to use a
Nice.
horribly modern analogy. And from a mechanical standpoint, I can tell you that Sean's power score has just doubled.
To 140?
Correct.
Okay.
What?
I'm sure it's fine. Don't even worry about it.
So I think what Sean thinks is it was the drink.
Clearly. Obviously.
Yeah. So
Some
I
kind of
turned to Dirk,
hallucinogen in there.
I turned to Dirk and go, it took a second, but that stuff is...
Yeah.
I'm going to buy some before we head back.
She says, hopefully the drink will buy you some time. I hope that you are able to achieve what you came for.
Ron is a big guy. He can handle it.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Let's do this.
I'm gonna just quickly like scribble on the eye on our foreheads.
Okay.
Were we supposed to meet the guide at Senegal's headquarters?
He said he would have a guide for you. You hadn't actually talked to him about, a time and a place.
Mm-hmm.
This
Well, I
is
know he
where-
said something about being here or meeting, something about come here or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Well, we can-
waltz in there. Oh, yeah, deal with it.
Yeah, let's get there as soon as possible.
Okay.
then.
All right. So you head over. It's a little tricky to get a cab at this hour, but you eventually are able to track someone down and give you a ride. He sort of glances at the third eye and the makeup and everything else, but doesn't say anything. You can see that in many parts of the city there are other small gatherings like the ones you saw in the cemetery, and the Grand Cemetery seems to be the biggest one, but people are definitely getting ready for a 2-day bash here. And he drops you off a block or so away from Senegal's warehouse. I'm assuming just like last time, you don't want to go right up to it.
Yeah.
And as you approach, you can see that there are again a couple guards out front who sort of give you one of these looks as you approach. They clearly recognize you from your last time here. What you want at this time?
Mr. Senegal promised us a guide. We're collecting that now, and I wish to give him some more information.
Stay here. And he goes inside, and a few minutes later, Senegal comes out. Looks like he's been sleeping, probably in his clothes.
Yeah.
He looks like he's probably had most of the rest of that bottle of rum since the last time you saw him. And he sort of comes out and looks at you with the third eye thing on your forehead, and his face just goes white.
I'll
What are you doing?
Is this a bad
blending
idea?
in. Yeah.
Are you with them?
No.
No.
It's the middle of the night. What do you want?
Our plan is to get a jump on them and to get there ahead of time because we don't want to just be walking up on the ritual. We want to get there and get Jack out before any of this nonsense starts. We have come to collect your guide, and we've also come to tell you that we know where your shipment is.
And where's that?
Yeah, he gives him the address.
Okay, he
It's
kind
there.
of nods. He says, and they know we'll be coming to pick it up.
Yes.
Very good.
And then he kind of looks back at everyone else,
Mhm.
and then he steps closer to Senegal, like kind of right up, and he says, "Give us your guide, and make sure your men are nowhere near that area. For the next day, the next 2 days, your men don't go in that jungle. I'm going to take care of that cult for you once and for all."
And he kind of nods and he looks back and he goes, and he goes back inside. And a minute or two later, he comes out with a couple of what look like just the regular workers you saw in here. You know, they all have rifles slung and machetes. And he says, "These two know where you need to go. You can trust them." So,
Is there anything else you can tell us about the area, about these people?
good luck. You know everything I know now, but shoot one for me and one for Miguel.
Will do.
Okay. Go, he says, patting his guys on the back, and he sort of staggers his way back into his warehouse. And the two are kind of look at you and say, "Shall we?" Okay. And off you go. They actually have a small truck that they're going to take at least to the edge of town, probably not up into the hills proper, as it'll make a lot of noise. When you go through the streets and make your way to the edge of town where they just sort of park it, and you're starting to head into a very it's a fairly drastic change between the city and going off into the hills. This is obviously a daytime picture of what it looks like out there, but this is, seriously hilly and overgrown country. And it's, for those of you who haven't spent a lot of time away from a city, it is pitch dark. I mean, the stars are up there, but they're not generating an awful lot of light. There's very little moonlight. There's kind of a canopy over a lot of the areas you're talking. So your visibility is crappy. But these two at least seem to know where they're going. There's not a lot of conversation between them. The area is kind of a combination of hills and jungle and swamp. There are cypress trees, these glens. Yeah, exactly. Although actually, as you start getting farther outside of town, you hear and see less and less signs of animal activity. Even the buzz of insects starts to fade out a little bit. And you travel for, I don't know, probably a good hour and a half into the hills. It's a little bit rough hiking. There's not exactly a lot of good paths here. But these guys are pretty competent. They are finding decent routes. They're helping you over the rough patches where necessary. And eventually you get to an area where there's a couple trees near a part and you can just sort of barely see. There's an area of the underbrush that seems to have been like tramped down by feet. And they say, "Star pools are up this way. Good luck."
Thank you.
And they
You're on mute, Maeve.
I'll look to Sean and I'll say, "You're up. It's your turn."
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, this ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start following up that trail.
I do.
It's extremely quiet, and as I say, extremely dark. Although Sean, in particular, finds that his night vision is surprisingly well adapted.
Yeah, watch out for that rock.
It's like, rock? What? Oh, that rock. Okay. And you start, and this trail kind of winds up between a couple hills. Looks like it's heading to this sort of plateau area. And as you start making your way up there, all of you find yourselves feeling sort of agitated and a little bit nervous for no good reason that you can think of. It's like the whole area is kind of unsettling. It's so dark, it's so quiet, and you don't exactly know, but you have suspicion of what's ahead there. And you have to occasionally sort of take a moment and convince yourself to keep going because you don't like it here.
By the way, are those two waiting for us to get us back, or they just scrammed and left us?
They were waiting at the entrance to the trail when last you saw them. I mean, they're long out of sight now, but they don't seem inclined to get any closer. And so this, you do this sort of switchback up into the hills. And as we get closer to what looks like the top there, Donna.
Okay.
You're moving along, and all of a sudden there's something. You don't even really see it because it's so dark. It's just kind of the way some tree or arrangement of trees is shaped in the outline of your vision. You do not want to go around the next bend in the trail. There's something there you do not want to see, and you don't know how you know that.
Okay. Donna will kind of, because she will stop and say, "I don't know. I can't. We can't. We no."
Miss Donna, hey, it's okay. It's okay. We're almost there.
No.
Just stay behind me.
I don't want to go. Is there another way? Can we not do the bend in the tree because there is? I can't.
How about this? You stay here. I'll go up ahead. I'll look around the bend, and then I'll flag you. I'll give you guys a wave. Okay?
I don't think you should be separated from us.
Well, then come with me.
Sean is protected with that ring he had and by the stone cat.
Yeah, I got the hoochie joochie right here. Just stay close, Miss Donna. It's okay.
Oh my God. She's gonna go behind, end of the line and grip onto whoever's in front of her and kind of just walking like this.
Okay. So who's that going to be? Dirk, James? I'm guessing Sean's in front. So
who's in the back?
Probably James.
Probably James.
Then James.
All right. So you're relying on your father for support, as it should be, and just not even looking.
Kind of look at Dirk and go, look, I'm supposed to be the friends, but if you got your hand on a weapon, I would feel a little bit better about going around the hooky dookie corner.
I will show him just under the trench coat, or well, I guess I don't have trench coat with that, or something.
Not with the heat the way it is here.
Yeah, I show him the shotgun that I have it assembled and ready to go.
Okay.
I got your back, Sean.
Okay. All right. So you continue advancing. All right. So Sean, very cautiously, maybe not as cautiously as normal, because he does feel a little bit empowered right now. But he comes around the corner, and all he really sees at first glance is more trail going up the side of the mountain. Doesn't look any different. But as you start taking a few steps forward, you can see that there's something half buried in the underbrush off to the side of the trail. And you look down to see what it is, and it looks like it's a body. It's hard to be certain because it's maybe burned or something. It's got this horrific scarring all over it. You don't know what the hell happened. There's no sign of like fire in the woods or anything like that, but it's just sort of in this clenched pose as if it was in tremendous pain when it died.
How close is it to the trail? How close are we
Couple
to
feet.
it right now?
A couple feet off the trail.
Yeah, Miss Donna, just keep your head down.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, just follow me. I'm gonna stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling a little bit bulletproof right now.
Sure.
So I'm gonna grab a stick or something.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, Duke, just watch real quick. Watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of poke it with a stick.
Okay. The stick sort of goes into the flesh with that little sound. It doesn't move at all.
Yeah, this
I mean,
guy's
it shifts a tiny bit when you push it, but that's just a reaction to your force.
look. This guy had a bad day. He's not gonna bother us.
What guy?
But why would
just
you?
Donna, just keep your head in your daddy's daddy's shirt. You're good. And what I'm imagining, Brian, is I'm now kind of not even consciously just kind of rubbing where my arm was cut, almost as like a comforting gesture.
It seems, I mean, it's not even really sore at this point. It seems to have healed up very, very promptly. But I guess you just press on ahead at this point?
Yep.
All right. So you start making your way up, and there's probably 3 or 4 more switchbacks before you get up to the top. And about halfway there, you get to, you make another turn, and there's a body laying in the middle of the path.
Jesus.
Do we all see it or only Sean? Or
No, well, I mean, Sean's in front, but you all see it, except possibly Donna, assuming she's
I
still
don't see it. Yeah.
in I'm not looking mode.
Same condition, Brian.
No, this one looks different. It seems like more or less intact. It doesn't look like it's been burned. It's dressed in a sort of Western style suit, not dissimilar to the one you're wearing, Sean. There's a gun near its right hand, and looking at it, at least from a first glance, it looks like it was shot in the head. Let's put it that way.
So I think the first thing I like, I don't know how long it takes for me to figure this out, but I want to make sure it's not Jack. Right.
Okay.
Just
I
with the
mean,
dress and stuff like
the
that.
face is more or less unrecognizable. The build doesn't especially look like
Okay.
Jack. It looks like there is still a wallet in the pocket.
I'm going to pull that wallet out and not even looking at it, just hand it over my shoulder to Dirk.
Okay.
Yeah, Dirk will use his napkin to get the wallet and try to peek in.
Okay.
Get
There's
information.
a couple dollars in it, probably some assorted business cards and things, and there is a driver's license tucked into one of the pockets. New York State. It says Sean O'Neill.
God damn it.
What
Really?
Dirk, what is it, Dirk?
Did you give me the person's wallet?
No, Dirk, I gave you my wallet.
You gave.
Come on, Dirk.
I mean, look at this, Sean. What the fuck? What does it mean?
I
And
take
I
my
show him like pointing like this, like
Yeah.
the
That's
Travis
that's
license.
your
I
picture.
rip it up.
That's
It
your
is my
badge.
picture. Is it my license? Do I own this license?
Yeah.
Okay, so my hand goes to my wallet.
Well, first I would like you to make me a sanity roll.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see here.
Why am I in 2 games that have double wallets? Damn it.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
at the moment, you're like, yeah, I can handle this. I'm good.
So I look at it, and if it looks like right, like it looks like something I own, I want to
Mhm.
go to my wallet
Mhm.
and see if I have it first of all.
You do.
Okay, I pull my wallet out. Is my driver's license in there?
Yep. It's an exact match.
All right, look, there's some sort of funny business going on here. I've got mine, so I don't know what the hell this is. And I'm going to hand it back to Dirk. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but it ain't me because I'm me and that's me. And I point to my wallet and my driver's license. So someone's just hey, Mr. James, more people are just trying to spook us. So, obviously somebody broke into my room, got my driver's license, and they made a new one and put a guy out here and shot him. And I don't know what the hell. Let's go get Mr. Jack.
I agree. This doesn't change anything.
Let me just take a look at this poor guy, and Dirk will step forward to the corpse. Still with his handkerchief, we'll try to investigate the face. The bullet, is it like straight in the middle?
Looks like in the side.
Or just in the side, okay. Would I recognize if it's like was close range, like execution?
Yeah, I mean, you've got a pretty good amount of firearms knowledge and experience, and you've been a PI. Yeah, you think this was not only close range, there's actually powder burns there. You think it was like pressed up against his temple.
Would there be anything other of significance that might tell me, I don't know, does he have anything else but on his feet? Maybe some other ground that he might have been in. That red clay that is specific to this area or something
I
of
see.
this
Look
sort.
at you using all of your forensic science. Why don't you give me a... Let's see, we could call it spot hidden. That's probably our best bet here. Yeah, give me a spot hidden roll.
Boom.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you've investigated your share of bodies before, and looking at it, I mean, the build and the general shape of this guy is almost a not to make a pun, a dead ringer for Sean. He's even got that same little ugly handkerchief in his corner pocket that Sean always wears. As far as what's on him, I mean, it looks like there's a lot of stuff on his clothes. Look like they're sort of torn, like he was moving through underbrush. You see probably a couple footsteps running in this direction, footprints from that sort of thing. There's a little bit of mud on his shoes that doesn't match with, the path itself is pretty dry. So there is some dried mud on his shoes that suggests he might have been somewhere a little bit wetter. The gun has one bullet in it and 6 empty, cartridges that have been fired.
Sean is not like wants to get away from this as fast as possible.
Yes, he does.
So I've started to step away and I go, hey, Dirk, you can ask him out later. We got some stuff to do.
Okay, just one last thing, Sean, and I will check if there are any suspicious cuts on his hands.
No, don't see any of that. I mean, he's got like some little cuts, like I say, if he was running through the underbrush and thorns, but nothing.
I'm going after like some cut by a magical
stone.
No,
you don't see anything that looks like that.
Okay. And he was running from the direction of the trail we were going?
Yeah, he's running towards where you're coming from. So
okay.
Away from the top of the mountain.
Okay, seems like this poor fella was killed up close. Almost like somebody got him and just ended him here. Okay, we're here. We need to proceed forward. Just walk around it.
So walk around it and make your way up.
And I will walk with my gun out, I guess. At this time.
It's still dead quiet here, other than your footsteps and the very distant sound of the ocean off in the distance. And you make your way to what's probably the last switchback before you get up to the top of the hill, which looks like it flattens out a little bit up there. And there's an area where it kind of widens out a bit, almost into sort of a clearing. And as you step into this clearing, Sean is the first one to notice that there are body parts and bits of flesh just scattered around this clearing. There's a hand over there. There's like the lower half of a leg over there. There's something you can't quite identify. It looks like some sort of internal organ dangling from a tree. Something here looks like it was just ripped apart.
Hey, Mr. James.
Yeah.
Did we send any like explosives or nothing down here?
No, not that I know of. Just guns.
You sure it was just guns, huh?
That's what we sent. That's what we make. We don't.
Because it looks like somebody was playing patty cake with a hand grenade over here.
Mines.
See, that's why you got the brains, Mr. James.
I mean, that said, there's no areas that look like they've been exploded like you would expect to see from a mine. But
Who would put mines up here in this jungle?
Cultists.
Who would dress someone like one of our people and duplicate a license? I don't know. At this point, I just don't know. I want to rescue my son and get the fuck out of here.
James, would you be kind enough to make me a power roll, please?
Absolutely.
You never like it when the keeper asks for a power roll. I just want to say
No,
that.
it's real bad.
It's always a bad thing.
What
By the way, what does power represent as a stat?
Willpower, sort of,
Okay.
force of will, that sort of thing.
Wham.
We are
Okay.
so good.
Yeah. So this is definitely this whole scene makes you very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like part of you wants to go and look in a little more detail, but you're like, nope, I got to get check. And you're sort of forcing yourself away from it.
Yeah. I have to stay focused at this point. So I'll look over at Sean and I'll be like, you're just stay focused. Make sure we're not in any trouble and get us past this. And I'll touch Donna kind of on the arm behind me and say, do not look.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right.
So this is not making me feel any better. So Dirk and Sean, I would like you guys both to make me spot hidden rolls, if you would.
Easy.
Okay.
I'll spend 7 luck.
Okay. If you want.
I do.
I got this. Oh, okay.
Cool. So yeah, both of you are sort of, moving forward to make your way out towards this last stretch here, and you see sort of laying off to the side of the path what looks like a fairly large chunk of the body. There's like the top part of a right arm and a shoulder and a neck and a head. And the face is just frozen in this look of absolute terror. And that is James Sterling's face.
And Sean knows.
Oh, for sure. You've seen that face every day for the last 10 years.
No, this is just some poor guy.
I'm going to do whatever I can to Mr. James, don't look over there. Just look straight ahead. Watch the back of my head. Hey, Duck, what the fuck?
Is your gun loaded? That there's something I don't like here. And it's not just like
something you don't like. This Mr. James's goddamn head.
It's not Mr. James, obviously. It's somebody everybody is having crazy thoughts. Like what you were drinking just before we got here. It might be, it's just messing with your eyes. Maybe I just smell it a little bit more. So, I have come to think of it, I'm starting to feel it as well a little bit, powered maybe. Just don't. We need to go ahead. We need to save Mr. Sterling's son. Just don't look
apparently
at
there's
it.
going to be
It's
two of them,
real
so we have twice the chances.
Yeah, real funny, Sean. Real funny.
Nice. So you guys press on ahead?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Donna's like,
Okay.
okay, I can do this. I can do
Alright.
this.
You make your way up to the lip of the sort of big flattened area up here. And it's opens out into, like I said, it's sort of flattened into a bit of a clearing in the jungle. And you can see the most immediate thing you see is these pools that are scattered around the clearing. There's about half a dozen of them, each pretty good size, maybe 30, 50 feet across, somewhere in there. And they all have this sort of greenish light coming up from the water, like there's something underneath that's glowing. There's also the reflections of the stars in the pool seem brighter than the actual starlight that's coming down from above. And you can also see that scattered around there are these black stone monoliths, is how the map labels them, but they're these big sort of chunky obelisks that have weird carvings on them in some kind of language you don't understand. It looks vaguely like the carvings that were on the sharp stone. In the middle, there's what looks like a large wooden pole, maybe like telephone pole size, although not quite as tall, with what looks like skulls just piled around it, hundreds of them. And then on the far side, you see 3 simple wooden huts. There doesn't appear to be anyone or anything awake or active out here. It's just you.
Okay.
Oh, if there would be some makeshift prison, it must be those huts, right?
Yeah, he's going to be in there. Okay, look. Miss Donna, I need you and Mr. James to keep lookout. Dirk,
Okay.
I need you to cover me, but don't get too close because I got the cut rock thing in case that really works. All right, and whatever juice that girl gave me, the spooky dookie girl, I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, at least one of us feels good in this. All right, she'll stop like cowering behind her father as much.
So, Dirk, you just stay close enough that if something comes at me at them huts, you can take it out, right?
Yep.
But I need you close enough to Miss Donna and Mr. James. And to look at me. Look at me. The priority is them, not me.
Wait. None of us should be far away from you.
I got the cut rock.
No. But because you have the cut rock, that means that it's going to see us as friends. So
You stay hidden. I don't want nobody going in here but me. I'm going to go to the huts. I'm going to figure out where he is. I'm going to get him and we're going to get the hell out of here.
I'll put my hand on Donna's shoulder and I'll say we should look these pillars. Maybe we should hide behind them. I agree that one of us is probably going to be quieter and easier to get in through here than 4 of us would be. If we all 4 go tromping in there, they're going to hear us.
okay, all right.
And we can do what we can if he is discovered. We'll
Yeah. Anything you see anything happen with me, the 2 of you head back down.
We'll deal with that if we get there. Just be careful. And I'll kind of try to lead Donna over towards one of the monoliths to sort of like hide behind.
Okay,
It's
so
perfect,
I'm
Sean.
thinking you're probably like over here-ish on
Yep.
the map. Okay,
Mhm.
so behind that group. And Dirk, where are you going to be?
I'm I'm gonna keep one for Sean, but from the Sterlings, I will keep maybe 20 feet away, the furthest. That's what I'm thinking.
So probably
maybe
right
like
there.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's
All right,
I was just
cool.
looking at that spot. Yeah.
Yep, that works. By the way, if you guys ever need to do that on the map, you just click and hold, and it'll pulse out
Oh.
like that.
Oh.
Yep. Just like that.
Oh, okay.
And then Sean, where are you going?
So I'm going to try to skirt the edge.
Okay.
More in jungle than out of the jungle, but
Okay.
you know, one step away from getting into the clearing, right? So I want to be right at the edge.
Just on the tree line. Okay.
Yeah, I want to walk the tree line around
Mhm.
until I can get behind those huts.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make me a stealth roll, if you would.
And you mentioned that the rock that cut me doubled my stealth too, right?
I did not, in fact, mention that. If anything, it reduces your stealth because you have no fear of being caught.
Yet I am a stealthy boy.
You are a ghost in the night.
You have to see a different term, please.
Oh, sorry. You're a ninja. That's it. Yes, sorry.
I'm a very alive boy in the night.
Obviously, in every possible way.
The New York Ninja.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right, you are able to make your way around. It's sort of agonizingly slow as you move, and you know you're being quiet, but still, every time you just step on the grass and there's that little shh of the grass moving, you're just like. But if anyone's here, they do not appear to have noticed or reacted in any way. So you've gotten around to behind the nearest one, so like here-ish.
Okay, and there's nobody, no sign of anybody.
No sign of anybody.
All right, that's and give me an idea of the size of these huts.
They're probably one room. They're maybe 10, 15 feet square.
Only door seems to be on the front.
Yep,
towards the middle of the clearing.
Yep, and they're up on like a little bit of stilt, so there's like a little space underneath and a little stairway coming down from the front door.
I'm gonna stand at the edge. Sean's not a religious man, but I kind of rub my arm again. I don't know why I feel like that matters, but I do.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna hunch down and head towards the door.
Okay, the nearest one, the leftmost one.
Yep.
Okay. You are at the door.
I assume it's closed.
It is.
Can I kind of just press it a little bit? Do I get a feeling like how do I like? Is it just?
I mean, there is like a simple latch.
Okay.
So you'd have to, and it's like latched on the inside, so you'd have to fiddle with it in some way to get it open.
I'll get like a stick or something, see if I can't kind of get it unlatched.
Absolutely. That seems like it's the kind of thing you could do with a die roll of some kind. I think in this system that probably goes by sleight of locksmith or sleight of hand if you prefer.
Let's see. Let's go sleight of hand.
Okay.
Because my locksmith is 1 and my sleight of hand's 45.
Okay, that seems better.
So I appreciate the flexibility.
Yep.
I'm using up all my rolls.
So yeah, it's actually very simple. This is really not designed as a security thing. This is a designed to keeping the wind from blowing the door open. So you're very easily able to just sort of fish out a stick and unloop the thing around the door.
Keeping low and just kind of push the door slowly open and peeking in.
Okay. Give me one more stealth roll, please.
This game is so easy.
I know. I don't know why everybody's so worried.
I told you it'd be fine.
You push the door open. It doesn't even so much as creak. And it's just a very simple, minimalist, there's a bed roll that looks like it's probably bamboo or something like that woven together. A couple of cook pots. There's like a little fire, almost like a campfire set out in the center of the room. It's mostly banked now. You can see the glowing embers. There's some dried herbs and mushrooms and whatever hanging from the ceiling. And in the bedroll is a very large black man who does not appear to be aware of your presence.
From where I am and as much as I've opened the door, do I see the entirety of the hut?
You would have to lean in a bit more to see what's behind the door from where you are.
Then
It's
I'm
not
going to
much
do
of
that.
the space, but yeah, you lean over there and it's just like a simple, not even a wardrobe, just like a table that has some clothes and things on it.
So I put my hand under the door and just
Mhm.
slowly close it back
Okay. Done.
and rinse and repeat. Let's head over to the middle hut.
Okay. Make me a spot hidden roll, if you would. While he's doing that, anybody in the rest of the party doing anything or just keeping your eyes out?
I want to look at the star pools because I think they actually look kind of pretty.
Yeah, they do.
They're sparkling.
They do.
And she's trying to figure out, how is this kind of possible?
Yeah, it's really quite odd. They don't I mean, the reflection from underneath it looks without getting closer, it's hard to tell. The green light seems to look like it's coming from either the water itself or something under the water. And the reflections of the stars is interesting because you look up and the stars do look a little bit brighter here, just probably because you're outside of city lights and that sort of thing. And it's hard to tell from this angle, but the stars that are reflected in the pools don't look like they exactly line up with the stars you're seeing in the sky.
Okay.
It's probably just a perspective thing.
You're right. She's going to wait to get closer. Wait until she makes sure Sean's okay.
Mm-hmm. Out of curiosity, when you are hiding behind these monoliths, are you like right up against them? Are you touching them? Are you off in the woods behind them?
I would say I'm not right up against it because it looks as sharp as like the small stone. So I would say I'm like maybe a few inches away from it.
Okay, so using them as cover and close, but not touching. Okay, makes sense.
Definitely
James?
not in the forest.
Cool. James, that work for you?
Yep, that's the same for me.
All right, cool. And then Dirk is kind of off just in the tree line, I think. So.
Yeah.
All right, so Sean, you're making your way over towards the second hut, and you see something moving in this middle pool here. Something big under the water. Certainly bigger than any animal that should live in a pond that size.
How big are these ponds?
They're maybe what?
They're more puddles than
50
anything, right?
feet across. They're pretty good size.
Okay. I'm
Your
going to
standard
pause
koi pond.
and I was super focused just on the hut. I'm going to work my way there, but I'm like just constantly looking at the pool as I go.
And
my attention is split.
Right. And weirdly silently, something starts to rise out of the pool. And when you first see it, it looks almost like a turtle or a rock or something big and round, just kind of breaking the surface with the water running off it. And then you start seeing, it's hard to tell if it's one thing or many things kind of tangled up together, but there are all of these arms and tendrils and things dangling off of it, the water running off it, and mouths in every possible place. It doesn't obey any laws of biology. And these tendrils you can see are just kind of writhing against each other like it's a mass of worms or something. And it just sort of looms up out of the water, and it keeps going. and keeps going until it's like 20, 25 feet up there, and you still haven't. It still hasn't emerged from the pool. I would like the 4 of you to make me sanity checks, please.
Oh,
I need to
okay.
make sanity check as a player now.
Oh, wow.
Is it? It's not the main. Okay.
Just
should
hit
be
it.
up-
It's up
up
at the
top.
top in the far right, right under your residence.
Okay, this one.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So as horrifying as this thing is, I mean, the way your days have been going, it's just kind of like, okay, now it's that. You are each going to lose 1 point of sanity,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not any more than that.
Definitely.
And Brian, again, like how big is this thing, top to bottom? And is it completely out of the water yet, or is it just rising out of the water?
There's about 25 feet out of the water so far.
Jesus. Okay. I'm not being nearly as careful as I was and as slow as
Okay.
I was. So I'm going to
Mhm.
double speed. And in my mind, between seeing,
Whatever
one
that
and,
is.
1 1/4 Mr. James,
Mhm.
another guy with my wallet and my handkerchief,
Mhm.
and like, okay, now we just need to get the F out of here. So like that's all. Like, and so I am now going to the center one, and I'm going to push it open. And if it's latched, I'm going to push it open with enough force that it opens. I am not messing around now.
Okay. So you push it open a little harder than you intended, perhaps. It kind of bangs against. The rest of you see that this thing is just kind of, it stopped coming out of the water. It's just kind of sitting there. It's not doing anything other than defying all laws of sanity and physics.
Derek is observing this as he's seeing like this creature rising from the star pools, and he makes like 2-3 steps back and just drops on his butt, basically,
Mhm.
just like not believing what he sees, but he still keeps looking locked
Right.
on it.
Still committed to the
just-
job, but yeah, it's
Just picks his gun and just on his like 4, just crawls back to the tree line and observing from being safer, being down, thinking at least, and trying to understand what the hell is going on, and get a brief look on the Sterlings and then back on the creature.
Besides her being, she's kind of fascinated by this more than, also terrified.
sure, seems reasonable.
Did the stars in the pool change with this thing coming out?
Not that you noticed.
Okay.
Although it's interesting, obviously the one that it came out of, you saw the water, ripple and shake as it came out. But the water in all the other pools also seemed to ripple a little bit when it did that.
Fantastic.
Okay, so they might be connected, maybe underneath.
Yeah, no, that could certainly be it.
Or there's of them.
Or there's more of them. I mean,
yeah, that's true. Didn't want to think about that one.
just trying to help.
But she is going to actually pull out her handgun
Okay.
and like just kind of like, do they believe me now?
There's a
I'll be
very
like
small
them,
part of
Barrows.
Donna that is just like, I effing told you.
How about you, James? How's all this?
I think he is going to, without actually looking at her, he is going to reach out and grab for Donna's hand as some
Okay.
sort of like grounding, like something here is real and I came with it. But his eyes are focused on this thing. And he kind of unconsciously goes and checks his pocket watch and like, what time is it? What time is it? And puts it back like,
Yep.
Like, they'll
Still
be
almost
here.
midnight. Still
They'll
almost
be here.
midnight.
They'll be here.
Definitely clutches your hand back.
All right. So Sean pushes the door of the second hut open. And the layout is pretty similar to the first one. You've got simple bedroll, some basic furnishings. This one is a lot more of a mess. There's dirt and scratches on the floor. The whole thing has this strange sort of almost fungal smell to it. And there is something laying on the bedroll that is more or less man-shaped. And as you bang the door open, it sort of rolls over to face you. And you can see that it's close to human, but not quite that anymore.
Close.
You're being very generous with the word close.
Run.
It's human shaped. It's humanoid.
It's human-esque. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And it does not, I would assume I figured that out pretty damn quick, right?
Yeah, as soon as the face comes into view and the little black eyes don't blink because you don't think there are eyelids, but they look at you, and then another eye flicks open on the forehead, and it lets out this noise. You don't know whether to call it a scream or a bellow or a hiss. It's just this sort of "Wah!" And certainly anybody who is around this camp is probably going to be awake now. What would you like to do?
I'm going to take a half second to see if there's anything that gives me a sign that this is Jack. Like is
Give
there
me a spot hidden roll.
clothing or anything? Because the third eye is what makes me pause.
Mm-hmm. The rolls continue to be excellent. The clothing, what's left of it, is kind of hard to tell, and that sort of thing. But you do notice there's a sort of a patch. Most of the skin is a sort of black and scaly color, but there's an area right at the base of his neck that's almost glossy and shiny. You remember that Mr. Jack had a large sort of port wine birthmark there. And it's just about exactly the same size and shape.
I'm going to say to myself, you dumb son of a bitch. And I'm going to shoot him.
Okay.
I'm going to rush and shoot him. So I'm going to, I'm running. I pulled a gun out and I run. I'm like, you dumb son of a bitch. And I'm just going to get as close to him as I can by the time the trigger is squeezed.
Okay. Just center body mass?
No, head.
Okay.
And for head.
Okay. It immediately sort of starts rolling up out of bed and looks like it's ready to lunge at you. But you have the advantage, so you may take the shot as you see fit.
I will. My handgun. I'm using my A5 revolver, rolling handgun.
That's a damn fine shot.
That is a damn fine shot.
That is a damn fine shot, which is frankly probably just what you needed. So this thing lunges out of its bedroll and just comes lunging at you with these claws. And you were planning to just sort of whisper, "You done some of it, bitch," but it comes out so loud, you're almost screaming it by the end when you pull the trigger. And the bullet goes straight into that third eye, and it just topples back. You see red spray from out the back across the wall, and it just thud to the ground. Dirk.
So as we hear the scream.
Well, let me describe your situation, Dirk. Okay. You're standing in this hut over the body of this lizard creature.
Sean is.
Dirk is. With the scar on your arm throbbing, with a smoking gun in your hand. and you hear a noise from the hut next door as somebody is scrambling and moving. What do you do?
That's a good question. What do I do? So is it like a jump cut from?
Yeah, it's sort of like when you were having those blackouts before. It's just you're suddenly there.
I remember what happened, like the approach
No,
and
you
everything.
saw everything.
I just quickly try to get hold of myself and
Okay.
look out of the door if I still see this star pool thingy there.
No, it
chilling.
appears actually as you go to the door, it looks like it's starting to sink back down into the water. From the hut that is to your right now, you see a large black man come out holding a machete, and he sees you and he's like, "What have you done?" and starts running at you with the machete.
I gun him down. I try to gun him down with whatever.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm
you've got a
holding.
gun. He's got a knife. You have the advantage there.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a gun roll.
And if you do it off combat, Vaslav, so go to combat and roll the skill off the weapon, it'll.
And which one was it? The 45 or the?
I was using.
Well, the 45 is
using
what
the
you had in your hand. You still have the shotgun with you.
Oh, I still have. Okay, so the shotgun it is.
Okay, so that's I think long arm. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
You weren't even paying attention to how to do it, were you? I just showed you.
Okay. So if you have the luck, you can spend it. Otherwise, that's going to miss him.
No, that's too much.
Okay.
Misses.
All right. Well, he actually the first thing he does is he grabs around his neck. He's got what looks kind of like a smaller version of that sharp stone that you saw before. And he kind of puts his hand around it and looks at the thing in the pool and points at you and yells. And the thing sort of, it doesn't have a single face or eyes or anything like that, but you sort of sense that it turns its attention to you. And then it just starts to sink back down into the pool. And this guy is stunned and furious. But you have a moment before he recovers.
Okay, he has just machete, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna just run out of the hut and try to go back to the trail where we arrived. You know what? Through the middle of it, the shortest way to do.
Sure. You run and you make your way along, and he starts to chase you, and then he sort of stops and goes back into the hut where you were, and he just lets out this horrible, wailing, angry scream. And if he's chasing you, you're long since out of range by the time he gets back out of that hut. Are you going all the way back down the trail?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you make your way down past James's body, past Sean's body, past Donna's body.
Oh my God!
To the base of the trail. And the guides that
on the way back, before I reach the potential meeting place, would I be able to find a little bit of light and a mirror or something where I could look at my face, potentially look at my forehead?
Sure. Let's say there's a little bit of a pond here, and you've got just a lighter or something you can use. It's not great, but it'll do. And you sort of bend down and you look, and first of all, you look like hell. You look like you haven't slept in days. You look wired. You'd look, if you were looking at yourself from outside, you would say you look a little crazy-eyed. And, you're sort of looking at your forehead and just trying to smooth out the skin and see, and you just see the little faintest line forming there.
I take my gun, put it right in the middle, right there.
Okay.
And just like deep breathing that is like fastening and fastening, making faster, and then I pull the trigger, shoot myself through the middle of my forehead.
And we fade to black. Let's roll the credits. We'll be back in a few to discuss
Oh
that.
my God, you Okay, Vaslav, at the break, what happened to your watch?
So my watch just beeped like that, or buzzed a little bit. I check, what's somebody's writing me, and there was like your heart rate increased like above your average. I was like, yeah, it definitely did. Like,
Well,
thanks.
I will take that as a compliment.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, this is one of my favorite adventures to run, just because the way it's set up is I think so beautifully done.
Yeah.
So who thinks they can give me a recap of what's actually been going on all this time? Or I can do it if nobody feels like they want to throw it out.
I mean,
still processing.
Yeah, like at first I thought it was like there were mind shifts, but then you made it real clear that it was Dirk. It wasn't Dirk in my head or anything like that. I honestly don't know. It was great, but I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Maybe what I think is happening is that we're just keep reliving this. Like it might be just a continuous reliving situation, but Dirk's kind of like the main person, and we're just the dead that's following him along.
That's actually pretty close to what's going on. So basically, a little over a week ago, you all arrived in Haiti to try and find Jack Sterling. And you did a lot of the same investigations that you did before. You talked to Mama Josephine, you talked to the anthropologist, you did all this stuff. And you were led to believe, all right, he's been captured by this cult out there in the hills. So you went out there into the hills to find him. And you ran afoul of the lurker in the pools. And it killed everybody but Dirk. It spit acid on Donna and just practically dissolved her. It tore James apart. And Sean managed to put a bullet in his own head before the thing got to him because he didn't want that to happen to him. Dirk was broken, basically. He was wandering alone in the hills outside Port-au-Prince, where the medical authorities found him and brought him to the hospital. And all this time, everyone else has just been talking to Dirk.
Yeah.
He knew he couldn't do this alone. So his shattered mind brought along his friends and his allies with him.
That's really cool.
It's super cool. Holy
And
cow.
you know, so I was hoping to try and have time to go back and do like a supercut of, you know, people who give you weird looks when you're having conversations with each other and do you know who I am? I think so, and all that kind of nonsense. You know, like everybody always referred to you as Monsieur unless it was Dirk's name. Nobody ever said Madame when Donna was talking.
Interesting.
It's just I know I slipped up once or twice on a couple things where I said all of you rather than you, but yeah, it's just a beautiful setup. And I was worried a little that doing it over Zoom rather than doing it you know, in person would make it a little more difficult. I actually think it works better because none of you can tell who I'm talking to.
Oh, good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
That's very
So,
true.
Yeah.
Very cool.
By the way, I was trying to put attention to the current mental state, and I like the last sentence, if I may.
Oh,
Keep
sure.
your friends around you always, as they are the only salvation between you and certain painful death.
Exactly.
So, what other than what you just said, like that nobody ever said our names.
Mhm.
Dirk is calling the army base. It's like,
Right.
Yeah.
holy shit,
Mhm.
this dude is broken.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, you know, you when you were at the warehouse, for instance, it's like Dirk walks in, has a negotiation as Sean, fails, walks out, walks back in. Now he's Mr. James, and the guy's like, the fuck. And
He
so
got his 300,
I
right?
almost
Go ahead.
I almost made a call when you were like, you know, so my brother's been captured, my son's been captured. Well, which is it, or both? But you know, he didn't want to give it away too much. It just there are so many fun little things you can do with this. I mean, and it's all thanks to the fact that English doesn't have a separate second person plural.
Right. So,
You-
go ahead.
Sorry.
Riff.
I was just gonna say, when we were talking to Senegal, and he did say your brother, son, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it took me a second. Like I was like, what was that? But then I was like, I guess I just rolled through it.
Mhm.
But it did catch me off guard, and that was, I guess, the one time that caught me.
Yeah, it's fun because I like to try and drop little hints without giving the whole game away, and seeing your reactions, like when sort of Dirk took over in the hut, seeing the light bulbs gradually go on for all of you was amazing, and I want to go back and clip those.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So, other than people's reaction to us,
Mhm.
was there other things that not necessarily that you had a chance to use or did use? Like I'm thinking about the module itself, right?
Mhm.
Well, like what other things are available to us to give hints, or is it just how we react?
Well, I mean, ideally, you don't want there to be a lot of hints until you're sort of getting to the climactic
Sure.
moments. But you know, it's the sort of things like when you split up, it always seems to take more time than you think it should.
Right.
Because you're staying at the hotel making phone calls and somebody else is going out to the store, and that's all you. And that's why sometimes you had those weird little dreams or flashback sequences or black.
Got it.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the main? Because I wondered this a bit ago. Like, why is everything in Dirk's like handwriting and his name? Like, it makes no sense. Since
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, that answers that question.
That's cool.
I was like, why is everything addressed to Dirk? Like, okay.
Yeah. And that's why he didn't know the Sterling's home phone number.
Oh, of course. God damn it! It's like
Why
it's
Why
like
would
watching.
he?
What's the movie with Bruce Willis? I feel like I'm watching the movie with Bruce Willis
12
the second
Monkeys
time.
or
Oh, no.
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 Where he's dead the whole time.
Sixth
Spoiler.
Sense.
Yeah,
Sixth
I feel like I'm
Sense.
watching The Sixth Sense as well.
Yeah, you're going back, going that.
Yeah, no, that's
so
good.
much
That's good, Brian. And so this is in the book Terrors from Beyond,
Mhm.
which and it's called Burning Stars is the name of the adventure. I don't
Burning
know.
Stars is the name of the adventure.
I'd be curious if it's even still available or in print on demand.
It probably. I know you can get the PDF on Drive
You
Through
can.
RPG. It was originally written for 7th edition, but it's easy to convert it to 8th.
Well, we're in 7th.
Not,
so
it's
it
not
must have
really
been
a
6th.
Oh, sorry, it must have been 6th. It was written.
Yeah.
It was one version ago anyway.
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
not that big difference.
it's surprisingly, dice light. It's really more about the
It's good.
playing and the interactions. I
Yeah,
just love the way this was put together. A friend of
No, it's
mine
good.
ran this for me a few years back, and I was playing Dirk's part and just blew my mind. And I did the same solution at the end that Vasilev chose to, because I think it's the right way to do it. It's interesting if you actually come back, Senegal and Josephine will basically confront you and say you can't go on like this, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's good.
It's a lot of fun.
That's good. That was fun. All right. So quick plugs. Maeve, let's start off with you. If I am really interested in watching a game of City of Mist, is there anywhere I should go?
Yes, you should go to my Twitch, which is mxmave, or you should go to my YouTube, which is going to be Foxtail TALE Games, and we play City of Mist every other week. We just got started. It's a ton of fun. Come watch, and hopefully I have Craig as a guest sometime soon.
I'd love that. And is there anybody on your cast that fans of this channel would recognize?
Yes, the Nick Westbrook. The Nick Westbrook is playing with us, and if you're a Malifaux fan, Kyle Bode is also playing with us. So it is a great cast. We're having a lot of fun. So
Does he pronounce it Bode or Bodie?
Bode? I don't know, something like that.
Kyle, on a first name basis, you don't need
to.
It's Kyle. I don't think I've
it's
ever
AKA
used
Coyote. That's all we care about.
Yeah, there you go.
AKA Coyote.
All right. And Brian, if I wanted to listen to a really good podcast about board games.
Oh, if you want to listen to a really good podcast, I suggest Third Floor Wars. But if you're interested in board games specifically, you might want to visit the Ascent of Board Games. We're a monthly podcast about board games and how they've evolved over the years. And I think it's kind of fun.
Excellent. All right. So real quick, Tabletop Talk, the most recent episode, I interviewed Joe O'Brien from the Glass Cannon. Yes, the Joe O'Brien. I think it's one of the better interviews that we've had on the podcast, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was really interesting. We've been talking to designers and creators. This was the first time we talked to somebody who's making content. And the story of how the Glass Cannon became the Glass Cannon, I thought was fascinating. And Joe is just a good person, just a good human being. And it was a great, coming up on Tabletop Talk, the podcast, is my interview with Ron Edwards, as in The Forge Ron Edwards, the person who came up with the concept of actual play and coined the term, as well as the person who also coined the term lines and veils. He is a person who is a big part of the journey that role-playing games have made. He's a bit of a controversial person as well, and when you listen to the podcast, you can realize why. Ron has no shortage of opinions. It's a really good episode. That should be coming out this coming week. We are taking a little bit break here on the channel because I've got to go out of town for work, but stuff coming up is the roundtable with Spencer Campbell and Navi Drake. That is going to be on the 24th. You do not want to miss it. If you did miss my one with John Harper and Sean Nittner, that is on the YouTube channel. That's going to be on the 24th. There's going to be my one with Spencer. Yesterday, I also live streamed a review flip through of Mr. Campbell's Slayers game, which is a really, really great game. He's got it for sale for $15 right now. So go find, search for Slayers on itch.
Actually, today, if you do it today, not only Slayers, but all of his stuff on itch.io is pay what you want today. I recommend giving him some money. You don't have to, but it's good stuff.
Like I picked up like Dust. He's got Dust on there, like all of his stuff, Nova, all of his stuff. So just go check it out. It's really good stuff. Brian, can't thank you enough, man. We're going to have you run something else for us.
I loved it, Craig. Thank you so much for letting me sit in your chair. I really appreciate it. And you guys have all been awesome. Let's do this again.
Take care, all.
Yeah, take care.